Triple H has spoken. After Braun Breaker's brutal assault on WWE official Adam Pearce, the game just addressed the situation, and what he said changes everything. The fallout is massive, and the implications are huge for WWE's future. I'm breaking it all down right now. This is Suplex Rumble, and you need to hear this. Suplex Rumble family, we are witnessing a critical moment in WWE history. Let me bring everyone up to speed. Braun Breaker, the second-generation superstar, the genetic freak, the man carrying the legendary Steiner legacy, just crossed a line that many thought was untouchable. He put his hands on Adam Pearce, WWE's on-screen authority figure, a respected industry veteran, and one of the key decision-makers in the company. This wasn't a shoving match. This wasn't a heated verbal exchange. This was a physical assault that left Adam Pearce down and needing medical attention. The severity of this situation cannot be understated. And now, Triple H, Paul Levesque, the chief content officer of WWE, the man who literally runs the creative direction of the entire company, has issued his response. What did the game say? How is WWE handling this unprecedented situation? And what does this mean for Braun Breaker's future? We're covering everything in this video, so stay locked in. Before we get to Triple H's reaction, let's make sure everyone understands exactly what went down and why this is such a massive deal. Braun Breaker has been on an absolute tear in WWE. The man is a physical specimen, explosive power, incredible athleticism, and that Steiner intensity that we all know and love. He's been positioned as one of the cornerstones of WWE's future, a can't-miss prospect who seemed destined for multiple world championships. But recently, tensions between Breaker and WWE management have been escalating. There have been disagreements about match outcomes, championship opportunities, and the direction of his character. Breaker has been vocal, both on camera and reportedly behind the scenes, about feeling held back, about not being given the opportunities he deserves. Adam Pearce, in his role as WWE official, has been the one delivering news that Breaker didn't want to hear. Denied title shots, booking decisions that Breaker disagreed with, disciplinary measures. Pearce became the face of the authority that Breaker felt was standing in his way. The confrontation happened when Pearce was attempting to address Breaker about his recent conduct. From all accounts, the conversation started tense and quickly escalated. Breaker's frustration reached a boiling point, and he snapped. The attack was vicious. We're talking about a trained professional athlete using his full arsenal against someone who isn't an active competitor. Pearce tried to maintain his composure, tried to de-escalate, but Breaker was beyond reason. The assault left the WWE official down, and medical personnel had to rush in immediately. Now let's talk about Triple H's reaction, because this is where things get really interesting. Triple H addressed this situation with the gravity it deserves. The game understands the wrestling business from every angle, as a performer, as a legend, and now as the man steering the entire WWE ship. His response was measured, strategic, and absolutely fascinating when you read between the lines. According to reports, Triple H acknowledged the severity of what transpired. He made it clear that putting hands on WWE officials is absolutely unacceptable and goes against everything the company stands for. There's a code of conduct, a professional standard, and Breaker violated that in the most blatant way possible. But, and this is crucial, Triple H also acknowledged Braun Breaker's talent and potential. The game didn't completely burn the bridge. He recognized that Breaker is a generational talent, someone who WWE has invested heavily in, someone who represents the future of the business. The nuance in Triple H's response is brilliant from a storytelling perspective. He's walking the line between maintaining authority and discipline while also not throwing away one of WWE's brightest young stars. That's the mark of genius creative leadership. Triple H reportedly emphasized that there will be consequences for Breaker's actions. The specifics weren't fully disclosed, and we'll speculate on those in just a moment, but the message was clear: nobody is above the rules, no matter how talented they are. What's fascinating is what Triple H didn't say. He didn't immediately announce a suspension or termination. He didn't completely condemn Breaker. There's a strategic ambiguity here that creates compelling television and keeps us all guessing about what happens next. Let's dive deep into what this all means, because this situation has layers upon layers. From Triple H's perspective, the game is in a tough position. As the leader of WWE Creative, he needs to maintain order and respect for authority figures. If wrestlers think they can physically attack officials without serious consequences, the entire structure falls apart. Triple H knows this from his years in the business. But Triple H also knows that sometimes controversy creates cash. Some of the biggest stars in WWE history, including Triple H himself, made their names by being rebellious, by pushing boundaries, by being unpredictable. Stone Cold Steve Austin stunning Vince McMahon is one of the most iconic moments in wrestling history. Could this be Breaker's version of that? The challenge for Triple H is threading that needle, punishing Breaker enough to maintain credibility while also capitalizing on the heat this situation has generated. And make no mistake, the heat is real. Fans are talking, social media is exploding, and everyone wants to know what happens next. The authority figure dynamic, Adam Pearce being the victim here, adds another layer. Pearce is respected in the wrestling industry. He's a veteran who paid his dues, who understands the business, and who has earned his position. The locker room reportedly has a lot of sympathy for Pearce, which could create interesting dynamics. Will other superstars come to Pearce's defense? Will there be a locker room uprising against Breakker? Or will some wrestlers secretly applaud Breakker for standing up to authority, even if they can't say it publicly? So what happens next? Let's explore the fascinating possibilities that Triple H and WWE Creative have to work with. Option 1, the suspension angle. WWE suspends Bron Breakker indefinitely. This builds anticipation for his return, allows the heat to grow, and sets up a massive comeback moment. When Breakker returns, he's even more dangerous, even more resentful, and the fans are dying to see what he does next. Option 2, the forced atonement. Triple H forces Breakker to apologize publicly to Adam Pearce. But here's the twist: Breakker gives a half-hearted, insincere apology that makes it clear he doesn't actually regret his actions. This adds depth to his character and keeps the tension alive. Option 3, the punishment match. Triple H sets up a match where Breakker has to face consequences in the ring. Maybe it's a handicap match, maybe it's against someone with authority backing, maybe it's a stipulation where his WWE career is on the line. High stakes create compelling television. Option 4, the slow burn. Triple H plays the long game. Breakker receives penalties but isn't immediately suspended. However, everything goes against him moving forward. Every match is made harder, every opportunity is denied, every official seems to have it out for him. This creates a sympathetic underdog narrative even for a heel character. Option 5, the faction war. What if this creates a divide in the locker room? Pro-authority wrestlers versus anti-authority wrestlers? Breakker becomes the leader of a group that's sick of management control. This could be a modern version of classic authority versus rebel storytelling. Each option has merit. Each creates different storytelling opportunities. That's the beauty of this situation. Triple H and the creative team have so many directions they can go. Let's talk about what this means for Bron Breakker's character development, because this is a defining moment. Up until recently, Breakker was positioned as a babyface with Edge, a good guy who happened to be insanely intense. But this attack represents a potential shift. Is Breakker turning heel? Is he becoming the villain? Or is he becoming something more complex, an anti-hero who does questionable things for what he believes are the right reasons? The brilliance of modern wrestling is that characters don't have to be purely good or purely evil. Breakker can be sympathetic in his frustrations while still being wrong in his actions. That moral ambiguity makes characters feel real. Think about Breakker's motivations. He's a second-generation superstar with massive expectations. The Steiner name carries weight. Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, legends of the business. Bron is trying to live up to that legacy while also carving his own path. That pressure can make people do desperate things. From Breakker's perspective, he might genuinely believe that WWE management has been holding him back. He might see himself as standing up for his career rather than attacking an innocent person. That's compelling character work. The fan reaction will be crucial. If fans sympathize with Breakker's frustrations even while condemning his methods, WWE has struck gold. That's the kind of complex character that transcends simple face/heel dynamics. Triple H understands this better than almost anyone. The game built his legendary career on complex character work, on being the cerebral assassin who could be both respected and despised. He knows how to guide Breakker through this character evolution. The wrestling world has erupted over this situation, folks. Social media is divided. Some fans are condemning Breakker for crossing the line with a non-wrestler. Others are saying this is exactly the kind of edge and intensity that WWE has been missing. The debate is passionate, and that's what makes this so effective. Wrestling journalists and insiders are speculating about the real-life implications. Is there legitimate heat between Breakker and management? Or is this all carefully orchestrated storytelling? The beautiful thing is, we don't entirely know, and that uncertainty makes it feel more real. Other WWE superstars have reportedly been reacting backstage. Some are said to be frustrated with Breakker for potentially making the locker room look bad. Others understand the pressure and stress that led to the explosion. These real tensions can feed into on-screen storylines. Adam Pearce himself will likely respond once he's cleared medically. How Pearce handles this, with fear, with anger, with a desire for revenge, will shape the next chapter of this story. And Triple H's careful, measured response has wrestling fans analyzing every word. The game is playing chess while others play checkers, and we're all trying to figure out his next move. Here's my bottom line on this entire situation. Triple H's response was perfect for what WWE needs right now. He maintained authority without killing the story. He acknowledged the severity while leaving the door open for compelling television. That's masterful creative leadership. Bron Breakker's attack on Adam Pearce, whether you agree with it or not, created a moment. People are talking, debating, speculating. In the modern wrestling landscape where attention is currency, that's invaluable. This situation has the potential to define Bron Breakker's career trajectory. How he navigates the consequences, how he evolves his character, how he channels this heat, it could make him a megastar. And most importantly, it reminds us why we love professional wrestling. The drama, the consequences, the unpredictability, the emotional investment, it's all there.